These are our dear friends, Sonia and Ahmed. Sonia has made an offer to sell her laptop for $700 to Ahmed. Ahmed has accepted. He says, yeah, sure, I'll take it for $700. So the exchange of consideration here was Sonia gave a promise to Ahmed to give ownership of her Apple laptop to Ahmed, and Ahmed, in exchange, promised to pay $700 to Sonia. So there is a valid exchange of consideration here. Now, if there is a lack of an exchange of consideration, if only one party is making a promise or providing consideration, then that exchange of consideration requirement is not met. It's considered to be a gratuitous or one-sided promise, which is void for lack of consideration, unless it is under seal. And we'll talk further about the significance of a seal later on in this video. Let's try to understand what is consideration, especially the legal meaning of consideration, which is very different than the general meaning of the same word. Consideration can be either giving or promising to give a benefit to someone else. So that benefit can be provided to the other party to the contract or to another person, a third party. Consideration can also be suffering or promising to suffer a detriment, to yourself. So if you're offering to give up smoking in exchange for someone paying you $1,000, giving up smoking is suffering a detriment and is considered to be valid consideration. Consideration has to have value. Now, that is value that the law considers to be valuable. So that includes obviously money, goods, land, or services, but it does not include love and affection or good feelings. The law does not consider those things to be valuable. Consideration does not need to be adequate. Whatever parties decide to exchange is enough to satisfy the exchange of consideration. A deal does not have to be considered fair. To illustrate this, there is something called the peppercorn theory. So if I owned a horse and I wanted to sell it to you, and you offered to provide me as payment for the horse one tiny little peppercorn, and if I was foolish enough to agree to that, then that deal would satisfy the requirement of an exchange of consideration, even though the value of that peppercorn is minuscule. It's far less than the economic value of the horse, but the fact that the peppercorn has some value is enough to satisfy the requirement of consideration. Hello again, Sonia and Ahmed. So Ahmed saying, oh man, my laptop broke and I can't afford to buy another one. Sonia says, I'm going to get a new laptop in a few days. Once I get it, I'll give you my old one. Ahmed says, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. A few days later, Sonia says to Ahmed, hey Ahmed, I decided to give my old laptop to my little brother. Sorry about that. So let's think about why there is no contract between Sonia and Ahmed, and also think about how the deal between Sonia and Ahmed may have been changed so that there was a binding contract between Sonia and Ahmed. With regard to the first question, why there is no contract between Sonia and Ahmed. So although Ahmed did accept Sonia's offer of the laptop, there was no exchange of consideration. Ahmed did not provide any consideration in exchange for Sonia's promise of the laptop. Therefore, a contract was not formed. With regard to the second question about how the deal between Sonia and Ahmed may have been changed so that there was a binding contract, if Ahmed had provided any amount of consideration, for example, a promise to pay even just $1, there would have been a binding contract because there would have been an exchange of consideration. Alternatively, if Sonia had put her promise in writing and signed it under seal, there would have been a binding contract.